We are back with our GMA cover story. It has been almost 12 years since the Sandy Hook massacre that killed 20 first graders and 6 educators. I sat down with 6 survivors from the first grade classes. They get ready to graduate high school. They talk about how they're advocating for classmates they lost and their plans for the future.
Action!
Laughter and smiles, a hallmark of high schoolers eagerly anticipating the next chapter of their lives. Looking forward to graduation?
Oh, yeah.
So what are the last few months of school like?
So we got prom ahead of us. We have senior skip day. We also have some things like the dinner dance coming up.
These 6 students, part of the first grade class that was forever changed the morning of December 14th, 2012, when a gunman shot his way into Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, killing 20 first graders, all between the ages of 6 and 7, and 6 educators. And this headline from the Hartford Courant right here says it all. Our hearts are broken, speaking for so many Americans today. I know this must be so hard to talk about, but let's talk about what you do remember about that day. Ella Seaver, Grace Fisher, Lily Walsenack were together in the same classroom that morning. Matt Holden and Henry Terafay in another. Emma Ahrens in a third.
We hid in the cubbies, and our teacher read some winter stories to us, like the Nutcracker. And before we went to hide into the cubbies, the loudspeaker went on. And this was probably, I would say, like the most traumatizing part of the whole thing, because we heard our principal, and she told us, like, kids, like, go hide into your safe spots. And then we heard, like, a popping sound, and then the phone, like, kind of went off.
You actually heard the gunshots?
I knew that it had to have been bad because our teachers were super concerned and were keeping their voices down, but definitely like a weird situation between knowing something was wrong but not knowing how bad it was.
You were actually in the classroom with the shooter?
Yeah. We were reading a book in the front of the classroom before it happened, and I remember a couple days before they were doing construction on the roof. So when the poppings sounds started happening, we thought it was just more construction on the roof, or they're just building something, don't worry. But I remember being at the front of the classroom, and he came in and stood right next to me, and I watched all my friends drop, and one of the victims did not make it. He told me and a couple other people to run, and we did. We ran out of the classroom, out of the school, and on the way we saw bodies in the hallways and doors blown off the hinges, and we just ran and ran and ran out of the school, out of the parking lot.
How haunting. He told you to run. Henry, I think it was you. You have that famous photo.
Yeah, I have a famous picture of me and my sister. I'm standing there crying, covering my face. I don't remember exactly what's going on, obviously, in that picture. The only moment I had is obviously just that snapshot.
Once we finally got out of the school, I remember we were walking to the firehouse, and my mom ran up to me crying, and I didn't know what happened at the time. I didn't understand, you know, the gravity of the whole thing, but I knew if my mom was crying, my mom was so scared that, you know, something horrible had happened. I'd never seen her like that before, and I never have since. I hope I never do, so.
GMA actually spoke to you on the day after the shooting.
We heard all this racket at our classroom, and we were like all scared. So then we heard them say, "Go in your cubbies."
What do you remember about that?
I think I try not to remember too much just because there was so much going on. I do remember, though, after the interview, I got an American Girl doll as a present that I still have, actually.
Does it help to talk about it?
I think in some ways it does, especially for me personally, when I get to talk to, you know, these 5 other people. It's comforting in a way because you have this connection that's never going to go away, but it's still, even, you know, over 10 years later, just so difficult to try and dig up those memories because of how traumatic and painful it is.
How do you think about your classmates who you lost?
You know, I just try and remember them every day. I have my friend's name tattooed on my shoulder, so he stays with me every day.
Now, as they prepare to graduate high school, these young people say they will continue to advocate for gun violence prevention as future therapists, lawyers, and politicians.
How are you guys doing?
Great. Good. How are you?
The 6 even made a recent visit to the Vice President's office for National Gun Violence Prevention Day as part of the Junior Newtown Action Alliance.
Me, Emma, and Lily, we went to DC to the National Vigil in December. And I think when I went there, it was very eye-opening to me. We sat down with senators, representatives, and their staffers. That opportunity of me being able to go to Congress and speak to these people in such high positions of power was just a good experience and made me really want to fight for something that I wish to change.
And how about your desire to be a therapist? Does that grow out of this?
Absolutely. I've basically known that I wanted to be a therapist since I was 8, which was really only a year after the shooting. I've kind of always been referred to as like the therapist friend. But I have been in and out of therapy almost my whole life, especially after the shooting. And it's really just helped me cope and helped me learn about myself. So I want to try and pay that forward and help people who have gone through gun violence, or even people who haven't, who are just struggling in their daily life.
You know, I remember coming here and thinking that if there's any silver lining out of this, is that maybe this will shock people into changing the way we deal with all this. Yet we've seen the school shootings just increase and increase and increase every year. When you see another shooting like Uvalde, what goes through your mind?
They don't need us to say, I'm so sorry for your loss. They just want change. Like, this should never have happened to us. This should never have happened to them. I just think people in power, or people that have the power to make change, should do it instead of the 17, 18-year-olds trying to do their work for them.
What's the number one change you think we need?
Regulations on AR-style assault weapons. I think one of the hardest things is getting people to see eye to eye on it. And I think that stops a lot of regulations and legislation, which unfortunately is costing more and more lives every day.
Does it make you think adults have let you down?
Definitely. I really thought Sandy Hook would, shock people and wake everybody up, but, it just keeps happening over and over and over again.
If there's one thing you want people to know about this experience and what it's meant to you, what is it?
As unfortunate as it is, it's going to happen to someone else, and it's going to keep happening to someone else until people like us have to make the change. We worry about one day we'll have kids, and I don't want to send my kids to school and the way our world is.
I mean, the tragedy never ends. The friends, family who were lost that day, the smiling faces that should be filling the seats in your classroom, the parents who should be able to watch their kids graduate, get married, the kids when they'll be able to hug their parents again, it's never over.
Like Emma said earlier, we don't want, I'm sorry's and, this is so terrible it happened to you. Like, it's past that, it's happened too many times. Your prayers honestly don't mean anything. It doesn't help me. I've had to deal with this for 10 years. It'll never get easier no matter how many times I talk about it. And honestly, it's just time for it to change. No more, sorries.
Is right. George, for you, what was it like to go back and talk to these kids?
Well, they've had to deal with so much. Hard to imagine the last time I was there, they were in first grade. But what was so impressive, and you saw a lot of it in that piece right now, is how all of them are committed to get something out of this tragedy in a way to help others and to help their community. And they have not flagged in that in any way. Really, really impressive group of kids. And they all graduate tomorrow.
And good, congratulations to them. And you're right, very impressive group of kids. And they put everything so simple.
Yeah, they sure do.
So simply said and done. Well done by them and well done by you.
Thank you.